Guys, so I'm here today. I'm going to be telling you my crazy roommate story. I've told a few of my friends and they're probably like, yeah, that is the craziest story I've ever heard of any roommate. So this might top one of yours or one that you personally have or have heard of. So I'm excited to tell you guys. It's going to be kind of a long one, so get some popcorn, get a snack, a drink, and let's get started. Also, please like and subscribe down below. Let's start in the beginning. So I signed my lease in the middle of August or so for my apartment that I'm living at now. I lived there for about a month on my own. The girl who was my other roommate moved in with her boyfriend, so she really wasn't there and she was trying to have someone sublease. So that's where the other girl comes along. Let's call her Emma. We'll call her Emma. That's not her real name, but we're going to call her that for the story. So she took a tour of the apartment. I met her for a little bit. Nothing seemed off or anything, but how would you know when you first meet someone? So everything, la la la. She said she had a cat and a dog. I don't think she mentioned she had 2 cats, but she mentioned she had pets, and I was like, okay, whatever. Unless you keep it clean, I really don't care. I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then within a few more weeks, she moved in. I personally wouldn't have moved into that place, one, because she has a dog, so every time she has to take her out, she had to go all the way downstairs. We're on floor 6, so she had to go all the way down 6 floors on the elevator or down the stairs. She usually took the elevator and would have to take her out countless times throughout the day. And for the price you're paying for these types of apartments, they're downtown, they're student living, so they're pretty nice. So I would not recommend that, and I even told her in the beginning, I was like, I don't think it would be the best idea, considering you have a dog, considering you don't even go to UNL, and considering of all the extra things you had to pay for when you probably won't use those, because she even admitted that she doesn't use any of that stuff. And then also the parking really sucks, so I kind of didn't sell her the apartment, but she still signed, and I was like, okay. And another thing is, the apartment really has a no pet policy, but obviously they can't turn away people with disabilities, so she had them under emotional support animals. So I was like, okay, it's fine. It really doesn't matter. It'll be a dog, cat, I don't really care. So then she started in the end of September. I lived in that apartment for about a month on my own, and it was very nice. It was always clean because I barely even used it. But I had some friends over one night and we hung out in the living room and it was fun. But then she moved in and it was literally like an explosion happened in that apartment. I was like, okay, she's moving in. This will probably last only a few weeks and then it'll be all clean, all better. She had 4 huge items that she brought into the apartment that took up extra space. So she had a fridge, like one of those fridges that you can open from the top. She had one of those is probably this big or so. Okay, maybe a little bigger. About that big. So I would say, I'm not very good at inches, over 12, I would say 16, 20 inches. And that was okay, whatever, you can put extra frozen stuff in there. And then she also brought her chair that reclined. She brought a bookshelf, and then she brought an extra table by the doorway. So I was like, okay, I'll be a little packed, but it kind of feels a little homier, so that's nice. She also brought her little cat tree that she made and put that by the windowsill. And I will show you pictures throughout once I talk about that more, and you'll see what I had to go through for a long time. This happened, and I was like, okay, she'll get it cleaned up. A month happened, and I messaged her. I was like, hey, is this gonna get cleaned? And she's like, yeah, it'll be fine. I said this so nicely, too. So yeah, October 6th, she actually moved in, so not at the end of September. I was looking at our text messages. She said, hey, just want to let you know, I got everything moved in today, so naturally the place is a mess, but I will be getting it cleaned up. Just wanted to forewarn you so you didn't come in and have a heart attack. I was like, no, you're good. I'm coming after work, blah, blah, blah. So then time passes. I don't really even talk to her. I only say hi to her, and we have small conversations when we're in the living room together. So nothing really crazy. November 13th. So that was a full month since she moved on October 6th. So over a month. And I was like, hey girl, I was wondering if you could clean up more because it's been over a month. I just feel like I can't have people over because the place is messy. So if you could do that soon, thank you. And then she didn't reply. And I was like, okay. I hate when people do that because I know everyone's on their phone, so just reply. How hard is that? So here's when it got crazy. I did talk to her in person too, but I can't remember what I said. But December 26th-ish, so the end of December, more like the middle of December, I mentioned something to the management and I was like, okay, this is crazy. This is so messy. It's been like this for 3 months and she has not cleaned, and I'm worried about bugs, pests. I mean, we're on the 6th floor, so that doesn't really happen that often, but like just mold and weird stuff. And the dog peed on the floor countless of times. Yes, she picked it up, but still that's not good for the hardwood floors they have, as well as the carpets they have. She also had the cat litter in her room, and then recently, like 2 months went by, she even talked to me about it and was like, hey, is that okay if I put the cat box out in the living room? And I was like, no, I don't really want that there. She respected that, but then after a few months, she's like, I put the cat box in the living room because there's no room in her room. Stuff like that. So I was like, okay. But then I mentioned to them, and they're like, oh yeah, we had an inspector come in, and we emailed her about it and stuff like that. So then I was like, okay, it's gonna get cleaned. I don't know what they messaged her, but then I was like, okay, it's gonna get cleaned, and it'll be okay. So then it wasn't okay because it still was going on, and I mentioned to them again. I took pictures for evidence. I showed the pictures to them in person probably a week or so after that complaint happened, and then they're like, oh, we didn't see that. So I'm very confused of what the person even came up and took pictures of, because they didn't take pictures of what was even the huge mess. So I will put some pictures up right now of showing you what it looked like. It's literally like a horror story. It smelled nasty because of all the random smells in there. The pee, all the food she didn't clean up. I could never hang in my living room for months because it was so messy. One, there's cat hair, dog hair everywhere. And she mentioned how she cleaned every 2 weeks, and I really don't think, in my opinion, it would look like that every 2 weeks of her cleaning. I feel like it'd have to go on longer. And yes, she was busy, but we're all busy. And honestly, for me, I would not want to live in an environment like that. A few days after this happened, she bought cleaning supplies and spent $100 on cleaning supplies. Not even for sure what she bought, but I was like, why was it $100? One. And she bought it before and then messaged me, and I said, hey, can you pay for some of this cleaning supplies that I bought? And I was like, no, because you should have texted me before and asked if that was okay, if we would split some of this and then buy it, not buy it and then say, hey, you should give me some money for some of this because it's our apartment, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I'll just pay you $30 out of that because, one, you wouldn't have to buy all that cleaning supplies if you could just maintain the area. So I was like, okay, whatever. And then a week after that, she buys a vacuum for $100 and was like, hey, can you pay me for half of this? And I was like, no, I'm literally not paying for that vacuum because, one, I'm not keeping it, and two, it's not even mine. So I'm not paying half that. You can pay for that. So she was like, okay, whatever. On December 26th, she messaged me and says, are you making complaints to management? I was like, oh god, here we go. Replied with, they mentioned to me they did an inspection and said it wasn't clean enough. She's like, when? And I've been working really hard to keep up cleaning, but I could really use some help. After that, I got really annoyed because I barely have been living there when this all was happening because I'd eat at my mom's or eat out because I did not want to eat in that nasty place because it made me want to throw up. And the smell was like, I couldn't even explain it. It was like a mixture of all this stuff that you saw in the kitchen, the cat puke, the cat pee. Okay, I said a while back, and I understand you have been trying to keep up cleaning, and I also understand you would like some help with it, but it is mainly all of your stuff that you haven't picked up since you moved here, as well as a lot of your animals' hair and your stuff around. She says, yes, but in addition to cleaning up my stuff, you have also left all the maintenance cleaning to me. Since I moved in almost 3 months ago, you haven't cleaned at all, not even taking out the trash or sweeping and mopping. I'm not asking you to clean up after me, but I would expect you to help me with the maintenance cleaning. I said, I haven't cooked in the kitchen or really put anything in that trash for a few months since I go out to eat or go to my mom's to eat. And she says, it doesn't matter, Caitlin. That's what you're not getting. Even when you aren't there or using things, dust forms and bacteria grows. That's why it's called maintenance cleaning. It's not fair to me to do this all by myself just because you choose to go elsewhere. And I didn't even reply. I was like, this is so dumb because yes, I understand when you have a roommate, you help each other clean, but that is only if we both are making messes. I'm not going to clean up all of the crap that you left there for months and then you expect me to do maintenance cleaning around all your little stuff that's literally everywhere. No, I'm not doing that. One day when I was home after all this happened, she like storms in my room and like not yells but like loudly talking, was like, this is all your fault, this would not have happened if you didn't mention anything to them, blah blah blah. I was like, well, one, this would not have happened if you were clean. They wouldn't have found out that apparently your cats were not under emotional support and that your dog is essentially ruining things. I didn't really see any of that, to be honest, but I didn't really look closely. But yeah, I was like, this would not have happened if you were clean in the beginning. So that's what I'm annoyed about, that she doesn't understand or see my perspective, because if I was like that, she would probably be crazy or something and be mad. But I would never let it get like that, because that is so horrible. So that is mainly my entire roommate story and how that all spanned out within the last 4 months. I luckily talked to management and they were kind of on my side, so that was really good, and I messaged them a lot. And finally, the overall resolution of this entire story for me is that I moved into a bedroom at the same complex by myself. So I'm living by myself again, so that's so nice. And I really don't think anyone else is going to move in, so that's good. It's a 2-bedroom, but there's a long story with that. But yeah, I don't think anyone's moving in. I'm going to finish up my lease. So thankfully, I'm out of that environment. It was horrible. And now I can actually have people over and not be embarrassed on my living room, and I can actually hang out in my living room and not be cramped in my bedroom the entire time when I'm home, and actually eat at my apartment like a normal human being. So I'm super happy that overall it all worked out. It was just a crazy experience, and I went through it for so long. I'm way too nice, because I was like, okay, she'll do it sometime, I promise. I'm pretty sure she'll do it sometime. And then sometime kept going by, longer and longer, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I really should have spoke up earlier. All my friends and my mom said I would have started getting mad at her within a month. So I feel like I was pretty lenient about that. So that was crazy. Please comment down below any of your crazy roommate stories or anyone you've heard, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye, guys.